it's Romy. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you have a Libra sun, rising or moon, then this December 2020 soul story may well resonate with you. My readings are general, but the insights are tuned into what we pick up from the tarot, my guides, and the astrological influences that are moving through at the moment. Be sure to check back in as the month unfolds to see how messages and insights continue to have deeper relevance and clarity for you. But I hope you enjoy it. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can pick up for you. Let's get started. Thanks. Okay, Libra, let's take a look at December's soul story for you. So we're moving into Sagittarius season. We're going to be welcoming the new moon and a solar eclipse on the 14th of the month. It's going to light up that third house of communication for you. And we open up your reading with the Seven of Wands. I really love the position that she takes here because it's almost like there is no physical action that she feels she has to take to justify her position at the moment. So in spite of everything that's coming at her, you know, by way of energy, by way of people, by way of demands, by way of challenges, her choice is to take a higher perspective. Her choice is to find a place of stillness, to find a place of centeredness, and to turn away from anything that tries to lower her vibration and draw her into a battle that is really fruitless and not worth fighting. So I'm seeing that there's a desire from your part through this month of December as the energies are going to be moving at a pace. There's this sense of acceleration, of ascension and awakening that is going to be taking place, and you're really wanting to understand what that means to you on a deeply personal level and really own that and be accountable for your own energy. And I think that's going to make an enormous difference in terms of how you experience some of these shifts and changes that are coming in. I think you're going to be gracefully moving forward and not looking back to experiences and perhaps aspects of your life that you are just ready to release at this point. These eclipses bring in at times some difficult goodbyes, but also the opportunity to welcome some really beautiful, fresh new energy. And it's a strange sensation, I think, through December for many of us, because it's going to be such a sense of like culmination and finality as we close out this exceptional year and what it's delivered for us. And so of course there's going to be like a reflection and time that we need to process and look back, and yet all of the energy planetary astrologically is demanding that we look forward. Saturn and Jupiter are both making their way into Aquarius energy, a fellow air sign for you, and it's going to feel a lot lighter than the way that you've been navigating and working with this denser, heavier Capricorn energy for the majority of 2020 with these planets. And so as we are kind of taking on the essence of that Aquarian energy and really starting to come to terms with the fact that this is the end of an era, and we have this historic date on the 21st when Jupiter and Saturn will conjunct in the sign of Aquarius, first time in 600 years that that's taken place. And what it's demanding of you is to really throw the rulebook out, to look at things from a completely different perspective, a different understanding. And that's not going to be difficult. And the reason I say that is because you are going to feel that much different. You're going to notice the shifts and how the energy is moving through you, how your thought forms are opening up and expanding. You're really going to be considering and thinking about the words that you are expressing and the way that you are talking to yourself. Now, really notably as well for Libra in this month of December is that Mars is now really picking up a pace in its forward movement. And we also have Chiron moving direct in Aries on the 15th. Now, Aries is your polar opposite sign and your 7th house. So what that means on an individual level is that for many of you, if you have been experiencing some really tough times in those close relationships on a romantic level or partnerships, then this is a month where you should start to see the communication opening up a little bit more and just feeling like perhaps some resolution or sense of completion, acceptance, or being able to find a way forward, okay? It's not so that you feel like you have to rush yourself, and I think you need to be mindful of that because the energy to a certain degree is going to have this sense of urgency about it. but it's not about abandoning yourself to try to fit into somebody's timeline or to somebody else's expectation, you know. This is about making sure that you are really good with some of the choices or commitments or the plans that you're putting into place for yourself, especially where they're connected to somebody important in your life, okay? The other thing to be aware of is that your sensitivity is going to be really amped up through the month of December. It's an emotional time of year anyway, but take into consideration the very powerful, you know, eclipse energies and the way that we're working and approaching this conjunction, which is also the solstice energy as well, welcoming on the 21st. And you are just going to be very aware of the impacts of the slightest thing on your nervous system. And so just be mindful, Libra, really pay attention into, you know, who you're listening to, what you're absorbing, what you're nourishing yourself with. All of these things are really going to matter. They're going to make a difference, okay? But Page of Wands suggests to me that you are being put in a position where, as a result of the choices that you have made and are making, your conscious decision to turn away from things that are not vibing with you, that you don't want to be a part of your future timeline, what it's doing is opening up. It's opening up a space for something better to come in, something more fruitful, something more exciting, something more aligned. And it's giving you that sense of a little bit of liberation and a little bit of freedom coming in. Now, you may well look at your individual circumstances through this month and say, you know what, that's not my experience right now. I'm really up against it and I'm feeling the pressure and I'm feeling the intensity of, you know, being in a situation not of my making. And if that is the case, again, let's take on what the Seven of Wands is saying. It's like we need to work with the energy through the power of your thought, your attitude, and the decision and choices that you are making in December. They matter for what comes next and what will play out through the course of the next 12 months into 2021. So do not buy into, you know, the feeling that you are disempowered or somehow not in control of what is happening in and around your life at this moment. There may be aspects that are out with your control, but your pace, your ability to center yourself and to know that actually what comes next is still very, very much in your control is such an important theme to be able to grasp and to really work with. And it is going to make a difference, and it's going to help you to keep that highest perspective in each and every moment, okay? The Page of Wands could also indicate a fire sign. Maybe this is somebody in relation to, you know, connections or something that has been ongoing with you. Again, what I'm seeing is this sense of something opening up in terms of communication, messages, conversations, but perhaps still a decision or a choice to make, okay? You're certainly weighing something up here. There's a little bit of a part of you, I feel, this month, Libra, that wants to be bold and do something a little bit more risky, perhaps a little bit more out of your comfort zone. And you're kind of, I feel like you're testing the water with yourself a little bit, you know, should I, shouldn't I, is it the right time, is it not? And it's kind of that backwards and forwards sort of vibe, but it's good in a way, because I feel what's happening is you're kind of coming into alignment with like new energies that are starting to make their way towards you, and it's almost like you're getting a bit of a heads up as to how some of the paths are going to be opening up for you, okay? There is like a requirement for you to be quite resourceful and adaptable through this month of December. It's like nothing's super set in stone, and even though we've already experienced some like really extraordinarily kind of strange and challenging but also very illuminating energies the last few weeks, and really of course the whole of this year, December is one of these shifts that is going to bring a sense of finality, permanence, and power to certain aspects of your life. And so you will be left, I think, in some instances with a sense of clarity, you know, a real sense of clarity. And Sagittarius energy does make a really sweet alignment with you, Libra. What it does is it kind of gives you all of the opportunities to make the best of something. Now, you still need to take some kind of inspired action to act upon that. But if you're in that kind of a vibration where you're like, you know what, I'm ready for things to be a bit different, I'm ready to bet on myself, I'm ready to open up and see how I can make the best of my situation at the moment, regardless of where I find myself. I'm going to tell you that there's going to be some beautiful unexpected surprises and a sense of something opening up to support you, okay? Six of Pentacles coming in, along with the 2 here, does suggest that there's some things going on in and around resources, abundance, finances for you. Money can open up and in a surprising way, but what you need to do is almost like cast aside the ways in which you think something might unfold and just be open to some of the inspiration and ideas. And I would say pay close attention as well to kind of somebody just almost in an offhand way kind of saying, have you thought about this, or have you done this, or oh, I heard that somebody had gone this direction, because I feel it's going to be in casual conversation that something is revealed or dropped in for you that could be really advantageous from a fiscal perspective in some regards, okay? But what we're also looking at here when we look at the balancing up of the 2 and the 6, it's about the energy exchange, okay? And of course money is just an energy, but your understanding and really your desire to want to be putting yourself in situations where you do feel valued, where you do feel respected, where you're with people who are supporting your change and your evolution, people who want to know what you're all about, who want to know what you stand for, what resides within you, how you come to the conclusions that you do. And there are people I know that are drawn towards you, that are supposed to be a part of your journey now and moving forward. And so if you're finding yourself like a fish out of water, or you're kind of struggling or grappling with some of the connections or the groups or the sort of environments that you find yourself in and they don't feel quite like the right fit, be aware that there's energy and shifts and changes coming in that are supposed to be delivering kind of new opportunities very much in that sense for you. I think in relation to specific relationships, particularly on a romantic level as we move through December, we are also looking about the changes that need to take place, the honesty that needs to come in, so that there is a better balance in terms of the way that you're both showing up. And I think perhaps it's been problematic in some instances to find the time to be able to really honor each other in a way that you needed to. And there's something with this Ace of Swords just saying, okay, it's kind of radical honesty, radical truth, but it's also the time to listen. They need to listen to you, you need to listen to them. The thing when we are illuminating 3rd house, when we're moving through Sagittarius season, is it's very much about, you honoring the ways in which you, like how you've changed in terms of what you think, right? Maybe what you think about yourself, what you think about your partner, what you think about the relationship and where it's going, where it's been, what's happening in the world and how that impacts and how that relates. And it's like, if you don't share that, people are not always mind readers. So I think there's a real importance that you, in the right way, are able to articulate, here are all the things that I've got going on in my mind right now, and this is how I need you to understand where I'm at. And I think that almost brings this sigh of relief energy when you're absolutely able to find the right words to kind of present what's going on within you. And it may be that up to this point you haven't been able to do that successfully. We had a lot of retrograde energy we were working with, and with Mars retrograde in your 7th house particularly, it could have just felt like you just couldn't get the words out, or it just it kept coming up at the wrong time, or there was just this inability to sort of have that sense of fusion. Now you're going to feel a little bit more like there's that green light, there's that clear path for that to happen, okay? And the Ace of Swords is like, take this moment to make it happen, because it will make the difference in terms of where this heads to next, okay? But at the same time, remember what we said, it's not about making commitments or abandoning yourself into situations that are not really right for you. Okay, so the 3 of Wands I love. It's beautifully opening up something for you. It really is saying and kind of, I guess, challenging you a little bit to see more for yourself, Libra. So if you've got bold plans, ambitions, you know, or if there's just like quietly things in the back of your mind or deep in your heart that you're kind of like, you know what, this year's kind of turned everything upside down, and now I've got these new dreams and desires, or I've got the opportunity to really reimagine or rethink my life, what I'm capable of, what I'd like to do with my life, what my legacy might be. Here's this energy stepping forward by way of a guide that says, you know, have the courage, have the confidence, step up, see more for yourself, believe in yourself in that way, and you will start to draw this energy and bring it in towards you. I'm also seeing messages coming from further afield for some of you, so that may be internationally or maybe from people you have been estranged from or at a distance from. Also expect that to come in. There's something about you reading between the lines or understanding the subtext of something being incredibly important in and around that aspect of things as well. I see new opportunities coming through, so for many of you that feel like you are in a situation where you're in a bit of limbo, you know, you maybe have been given some information that feels like, okay, what now? Where does this leave me? Or, you know, how do I take this forward? And there's almost this sense of spirit going, you're all right, you know, we've got your back here. You just need to kind of surrender in and allow some of this energy to fully move through you. You're not going to be able to see everything, but you are going to have a very, very strong sense of a big impending change coming in through this month of December that is going to play out like a beautiful wave and sort of carry all the way through 2021, okay? So there's something really important about just allowing yourself to kind of be present as much as you can. Now, it is a month that's going to feel very overstimulating, very wired. You know, there's going to be an awful lot of weird and wonderful things taking place. There's going to be a lot of disruption as well. I mean, we don't fully comprehend what the fallout of some of these historic events may be. And of course, eclipse energies always bring in those, you know, very big boom kind of situations. Sometimes one big thing, sometimes you've got three things that happen in very quick succession. But what you are going to realize is that you have shifted a gear. You have absolutely shifted a gear through this month of December. You will not come out of this month feeling the same way that you entered this month. The thing with the Hanged Man is that there is this beautiful spiritual energy that surrounds it, that is wanting you to understand that first and foremost you come forth as this soul being. And for so many of you, and I know the ones that are tuning in repeatedly to my channel, I know the work that you have been doing on yourself through the course of this year and how it has changed you. And it is important you take time to reflect on really, you know, what that means, because there's something about the growth and the expansion. It's not about the perfection of getting everything right or feeling like you're supposed to understand what it all means or even how you feel, but just knowing that you have made progress in and of itself is so much part of what 2020 was about. The Hanged Man also links into this beautiful Neptune energy. Now, Neptune direct as of the end of November, and you know, it's notable to say that all of the planets bar Uranus are going to be in this beautiful direct forward motion, and so there is this sense of your imagination being opened up, and your thoughts about, you know, the aspirations that you have, your artistic and creative flair, and you know, the way that you can bring new ideas into the equation, all being lit up really beautifully. Fantastic time to make advancement in terms of, you know, projects, initiatives, launches, anything that you're working on. You can get a lot done in a very short space of time in December, even with everything else going on, okay? So the Hanged Man is not really coming in and saying, whoa, there's a big delay here. Far from it. In this instance, what I'm really picking up is that there's an opportunity for you to just surrender into that beautiful, deep, divine connection and be led by that. And that's going to allow everything to start to knit together for you. Now, what you may find is that from a financial perspective, there is news, there is things that is, you know, kind of backed up, but it's on its way. So you've definitely got an indication of something coming, even if it's not landing just yet. So for some of you, that will also relate to new work or new job opportunities, if it's what you're seeking and what you need. I feel like you may even find through the month of December that there's important conversations, validations, or even offers, maybe a delay to once you get started or once you get moving with it, okay? There is things to feel really positive and optimistic about. And as we move towards the end of December, between the 24th and 27th, we've got some beautiful trines with Uranus and the Sun and Mercury. So moving through Taurus, that nice earth sign, it means that material, you know, surprises can come forth for us. And it's the opportunity to really like lock in and harness that energy. So it's something that we can work with and that will almost give us like a repeat blessing, okay? So it's a great time if you do want to be thinking about a new idea or kind of like having a repeat business or repeat process of something. But it can also just bring in beautiful opportunities for you to feel liberated. You know, Uranus is the sort of the rebel planet. It wants to deliver freedom for us. You know, it can do it in a surprising, even shocking way sometimes, but when it's in this beautiful trine, it's doing it in a way that's a pleasant surprise, it's good energy. And actually it's just ahead of this incredible full moon in Cancer, lighting up your 10th house of career and you know, vocation. So again, it may be something very strongly connected to your work. You know, now appreciate that time of year, you might not be necessarily full on working, but the ideas, the energies and the things that may be making their way towards you, really notable and important to be aware of. Now your Queen of Wands is bringing in this sense of passion, igniting your sense of commitment to something, I feel, okay? There's this question of loyalty that's coming through as well for me, and it may be that you're pleasantly surprised by the loyalty that is shown to you through times in December. Why would you be pleasantly surprised? Perhaps it's going to come not from the people that you expected it to. And the loyalty may come in terms of just support that comes through. It may come by way of doors being opened or just kind of people standing and kind of backing you up when you need it. So just kind of be aware that there's a lot of warmth and supportive kind of loyal, committed energy that I think is going to come in for you when you need it. Now, it may also be a fire sign that we're dealing with in Aries, Sagittarius or Leo, especially with that Page of Wands showing up as well. Again, if that is the case, you know, the communication is flowing. It feels like important conversations happen, but then you also need to have a little time for things to land and to be processed, okay? And if that's the case, then again, just try not feel like this sense of urgency is overwhelming or overtaking you, okay? There's a lot of things that perhaps need to come together and everything is being worked on behind the scenes. I have this kind of clairvoyant vision of just like so many bodies at work to try and make one thing happen, and so you are a part of that process. But what you can do to make it easier on yourself is to sit firmly in the energy of, you know, I'm not going to drain myself, or I'm not going to get caught up in areas that are not conducive to really what the big picture is for me. I need to have a wide lens at the moment in terms of where I'm going. That Sagittarius energy wants us to kind of look at that big picture. And, you know, as we make our way into Capricorn season and its 4th house energy, it's all about house, home, family for you. You know, and even changes in and around your workplace coming up as well. A decision to make, and the Two of Swords does also link into your sign, so I like that energy coming through for you here. It feels, in some instances, that you're kind of feeling like there's a compromise that you have to make, and I'm going to challenge it because I'm going to say to you that actually there doesn't have to be. There doesn't have to be. So if you find that there's an important decision that arrives through this month of December, maybe just after that, so be open-minded about the timing. But as this decision comes in, which feels very pertinent to some area of your life, expanding, moving forward and having a sense of important progression, and where you might feel the disconnect or the feeling of I can't have that if I go this way, or I need to give up this, or maybe feeling split or torn between, you know, two different options, two different connections even. I think that there is going to be either more information or the opportunity for you to look at this from a slightly different perspective, and it will make you realize the compromise that you think you have to make isn't actually it isn't really valid in this instance. It doesn't have to be, okay? So give yourself time to process and don't rush in and don't feel pressured to make a decision straight away in and around anything, okay? I certainly see a lot of opening up energy coming through, okay? That's what I really like about December for you. It shows me that things are starting to open up really beautifully. How you use that energy, what you decide to do with it, I think is going to be very much down to like where you find yourself at this point in the year. And it's okay, you know, if you're just right now in a process of trying to heal or deal with something that's kind of really heavy or dense, then so be it. Things are not going to be missed, you know. You just need to take the time to honor where you are, respect where you are, but be aware that the kind of the pull, the forward motion, the kind of thinking about the future, the planning, the kind of putting things into order and into place is going to be powerfully sort of feeling like that kind of tailwind that's driving you forward. And it would be advantageous to embrace it and harness it, because it's like one of those waves that can carry you way further than you anticipate in a very, very short space of time, Libra. Okay, so let's take a look at your oracle card and just see what is coming up here. Okay, the unknown, knowing the unknown. I think this is really a beautiful representation in some ways of this whole process of ascension that so is so evident through the course of this year, and just the historic aspect of December is this really big final chapter of the year. And it is almost like you're being initiated into something. You are being given keys to this new level within yourself that you have never accessed before, and it's going to feel probably a bit strange, a bit uncomfortable, but also something that is going to leave you in awe in many ways. You know, it just could be the clarity or the connection that you then have to your own guides, the way that you see things, the way you perceive yourself just completely changes, you know. But it's incredibly powerful. It's very grounding and leveling, and at the same time it's kind of a feeling like you're literally having outer body experiences at moments as well. So, you know, it's going to play itself out in a very, very powerful way. Giving yourself permission to say, I do not have all the answers, and even when I start to feel into new things, I'm still not necessarily going to be able to make sense of it all, and being at peace with that, knowing that you're still guided and you still are exactly where you're meant to be is really important. I also feel when I look at this card, you know, it reminds me that with this conjunction that's taking place with Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius on the 21st of December, we also have Juno and Pallas Athena, these beautiful divine goddess energies coming in with a very favourable alignment to really remind us that that divine feminine principle is now being brought into the forefront to help us balance out the energies on Earth, and that we will all be feeling that individually within ourselves, because we all need to have that right balance between the masculine and feminine. So that's something else that feels like you'll feel the shift of really powerfully through December, and it may start to alter your perspective on different aspects of your life as well. But yeah, really beautiful card. Let's have a look here what the next deck wants to give us. Motion, air. Okay, beautiful. Of course you have the element of air. We have this master number, very spiritual number, 22. We have all of these incredible white stallions. You know, they're surrounded in this kind of dust storm, you know, and it feels very eclipsy in its energy, doesn't it? It's disruptive. It's kind of, we can't quite see, and yet all of a sudden there's about to be this stampede of energy that drives us forward. And so things are kind of being prepared, all of the energies are coalescing, everything's coming together, and you're going to feel that charge, you know. It's like that desire to want to bolt, to burst forward, to progress, and it's coming, you know. The energy of air is fast, and it's that sense of the lightning speed with which things can happen through this month of December is something that you need to be aware of. Instantaneous manifestation, you know, complete altering of your mindset on things, you know, but also like fast progress. It's also notable to see that there are a number of horses here. You're not alone, you know, this is you as part of a soul family, as part of a group, as part of, you know, an energy in the collective. This is people that you have around you that are all on the same vibration as you, that are all ready to kind of move forward in the way that you are. So really beautiful cards to indicate that things are about to, you know, be given that green light and kind of give that sense of a burst of energy. So I really love that for you. I think it will play out well, particularly for those of you that want to see some fast progress in different areas of your life. So Libra, this is a general reading, and thank you so much for tuning in for December. If you'd like to join me for the extended version, you can find the link for that in the description box underneath the video. We're going to talk for another 20 minutes or so about some of the messages that have come through here. I'm going to invite you just to think about a question that might not have come up in this main spread, first and foremost. And we'll go ahead and pull a couple of cards for that now. Okay, and then let's just clarify this main reading. So just beginning with this Seven of Wands energy, bringing in the Scorpio influence with the Death card here, birth and transformation. Nine of Wands, that wounded warrior. Perseverance required here. Another Three of Wands, beautiful. Okay, card of Strength coming through here. Strength card does also link into the sign of Leo. And Empress energy. It is a time that's nutrient rich, you know. The more appreciative, more in gratitude we can be, the more we can draw towards us. We also have King of Swords coming through, of course could relate to your energy, but also might be another air sign, a Gemini or Aquarian. Maybe a little bit of a battle on your hands around getting something that's due to you or owed to you, okay? If that is the case, just remember to sort of choose your battles wisely. Remember what that Seven of Wands was indicating, really about how to harness this time, okay? You do have this beautiful rainbow coming in here, though. Blessing and something to celebrate. So it does look like a favourable, positive outcome. That Hanged Man showing up twice, but also the Fool here, so a little bit of a timing aspect going on with things. I have a sense that you know something's going to get going, but there is just going to be a period of time that you have to allow. You can still use the time in between really wisely, though, is what I want to say. Queen of Wands coming up again. Devil coming in there. Maybe very strong connection or chemistry with somebody. Okay, just pull one more here. Alright, just finally Libra, I'm doing a bit of a preview card for 2021, just to give you a bit of a heads up on some of the energies that we see guiding you forward in the next 12 months. We will look into that in the extended reading, so just going to pull you a card here for 2021. Okay, great. Look, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support if you've been following my channel throughout the year. I wish you beautiful blessings for this month of December. And take good care of yourselves. I'll speak to you soon.